quick tip for knee health in boxing. You guys have been doing your cardio wrong for 150 fucking years. It's time to change that. Okay? Running is fucking pointless, especially if you're a heavier fighter. More than 170 pounds, you have no business going for a jog or a run, right? What do we do in our sport? Let's think of sport-specific cardio, right? Skipping rope, similar to running, but we're working on our footwork in place. We do high-intensity interval training with that emulate the round structure. Sport-specific cardio. Rowing, right, on a seated rower. Very good because it uses all the musculature we use in boxing, and it'll get your heart rate up. Very good cardio. Swimming, the lowest impact type of cardio you can do, and you can get your heart rate up. You can train your lungs really well. And the recovery demand is very low. We need to think of stimulus to fatigue ratios. We need to think of sport-specific cardio. What do we get out of more bang for our buck? Running is silly. There is no reason to run. We don't run in boxing unless we're pussies.
So if this wasn't clear, because I realize now that this is the first video that I've made on these types of topics, so I should probably give a little bit more context. Sport-specific cardio is cardio that emulates the sport that we're doing. It can be emulating it by the types of muscles that you're using, the timing, say the intervals match like the round structure in boxing, right? So we up our cardio for a very specific template that matches our sport. There's many reasons, including the fact that it helps us mitigate damage to our knees, which is good long term. So we get multiple benefits from it. And that goes into the stimulus to fatigue ratio, which is how much do you get out of something with how much recovery time you need, which includes injuries, right? Usually we're thinking more along the times of like muscle damage and healing from like delayed onset muscle soreness, DOMS, things like that. But you include everything, right? How much you're going to need to sleep, how much calories you're going to need, and how much time you're going to have to spend in rest because you're injured, right? Hopefully you don't get injured at all, and you degrade things over time. So that's why swimming is really good, because you use all the musculature that you use in boxing, and it's very low impact. Same with rowing. And why skipping rope is so good is because it emulates the round structure of boxing, so the cardio is perfect for that reason, right? You can go too far with sport-specific stuff to where you get silly and it's no longer effective, but usually it's better to have things that emulate your sport to a degree, right? It's like a golfer is not going to go for a sprint, right? There's no reason for him to do that, right? A baseball player might need to sprint, but he doesn't need to go on marathons, right? But those are both runs. A sprint and a marathon, they're both runs. But baseball player doesn't go more than 100 meters or whatever it is, right? So you think in terms of that. Hopefully that makes sense.